After 2 years of non-stop trash talk between one another, the big day finally arrived when Jake and Tommy met in the ring. Now, while the promised knockout was not evident in this fight, Tommy still showed us that there are levels to this sport, and he was just levels ahead of Jake. What really separated them was that Tommy was landing actual combinations, while Jake would land one punch, then reset. This to me was the biggest determining factor that led to Tommy winning majority of the rounds because he had a higher volume of punches landing. He also had a better jab. Honestly, it was the first time Jake had to deal with someone who had a decent jab. Now Tommy may have won the fight, but this didn't mean Jake wasn't a game opponent because he did give Tommy quite a challenge. Tommy wasn't able to just walk straight right through him and knock him out, but he had to move around and work to land some punches. Jake's power, however, didn't shine as much as it did in other fights because, as I said in one of my previous videos, I feel as if his power has been a tad bit overrated. Yes, he has knocked people out, but he knocked out people who weren't the most experienced in boxing and were also quite old. Your power can only be proven when you fight someone of the same level, and today that didn't happen. There were times when his right hand landed flush on Tommy, but it didn't really faze him. Now he did knock down Tommy with a jab, but that honestly seemed more like a perfectly placed punch that made Tommy lose his balance as he was stepping in. Tommy may have won, but his real goal is to become a world champion, and he is still a long way from attaining that. But he's got all the tools in the world to reach the peak of the sport, and only time will tell what he is able to accomplish in boxing. I'd love to see him put in more work in the Kronk gym alongside Sugar Hill Stewart and his brother because his frame is perfect for the Kronk style of boxing. A really good jab and a powerful straight punch. Power is something that seems to be lacking with Tommy, so getting in that work with Sugar Hill would definitely help him. Also, his hands tend to be way down too low most of the time. He honestly would have blocked a lot of Jake's punches if he had simply kept his hands closer to his chin. Despite the loss, this isn't the last we've seen of Jake. A rematch is most likely going to happen next, or he still has his fight with Nate Diaz. If the rematch does happen next, I'd love to see some improvements from Tommy, and maybe he might even actually get a finish. So what do you guys think of the fight, and how do you think a rematch goes?